47 Weeks, Life and Learnings of a Dietetic Intern. Hey guys, welcome back to 47 Weeks. It's week 46. I finished my 2-week hemodialysis staff relief and I think it went really well. It was so nice to talk to the patients and problem solve ways they could improve their renal lab values. There were no report cards to give out this week, so I did a lot of walkabout rounds. So there were certain days when I would be at the BG and at the HI, both for the morning shift and then the afternoon shift, so I was running back and forth between the two sites. And you'd learn that one patient transferred to a different time slot or went from the BG to the HI, so you'd have to add them to the list and try to make sure you have time to see them. My preceptor was at a wedding in Alberta the week before, but this week she's here but covering for another dietitian who's doing her own project week. So she was at the office and she was working at another desk some of the time, so we got to chat. There was one conversation we had where we talked about how we didn't want to worry about things we have no control over, like politics, and then we ended up talking a lot about politics for at least like 20 minutes. So we decided that we were going to solve the world's problems at a different time because I had a meeting. Wednesday night, Deb and the distribution manager took us out to dinner at Studio East. Apparently it's something that happens with every year of interns, and there was lots of wine, and it was really hard to not drink it because it's actually one of my favorite white wines that was there, but I drove. I was really contemplating drinking more and taking the bus, but in the end, I found the self-control and willpower to only have a glass. It was funny that the server, who was actually a really good server, but she didn't know that we were dietetic interns, clearly, because she would go on about how she takes home a bunch of cake every night to eat it, and how this appetizer that's a bunch of chicken skins with extra fat and deep fried a bunch of times. And I'm sure if she knew that we were going to be dietitians, she might have not talked about it so much. Studio East has a bunch of decorated walls that have funny messages on them, and there was one thing that said, "You will not blog about this." But here I am. We had a few delicious appetizers to share, some pad thai wings and warm sushi that I've tried before, and it's really good, and some salad wraps. And then for dinner I had curry Thai chicken, which was really good. I tried some of Hillary, who sat beside me's ribs, and they were good too. It was presented quite nicely. I know I've been to Studio East before and I didn't have a really good experience, but I must say it's definitely much better the second time around. Because our group is so large, we had 2 side-by-side tables, but they were separate. And even though they only sat, like this far away from us, I felt like some of the other interns and Deb and Jennifer were cut off from the rest of us. It really felt like the tables had 2 divided conversations, and that's a little sad because I felt like I didn't talk to Christine or Lindsay or Farzana as much as I wanted to. I can't believe we're parting ways next week or the week after. There's already a bunch of interns that are leaving next week, some interns that are leaving the week after graduation, so 4 out of 10 are moving back to Ontario. So there's not going to be a whole lot of us left. And others might leave depending on where they get jobs. I can't see myself living anywhere else, and I'm all set at Salty's, where I'm actually going to start getting health insurance now because I've been there for over a year. Yay! I haven't gotten my eyes checked out since grade 10, so I'm really excited to do that. And hopefully, when November comes around, I will have a part-time job in my field again. Next week I'm back at the rehab doing staff relief, so I met with Michelin on Friday and I picked up the keys and she went over some feedback from my first week of staff relief. Most of the things on the evaluation form needed improvement instead of meeting expectations, including she thought that I would get more done, and we talked about the whole bandit incident when I had to leave early. I just thought I did better, and it makes me feel really sad. I feel like I have less confidence going into my last week of internship than I did before. And it's just level 1 clinical. So if I can't do that, then... So it's going to make for a really stressful final week, but at least it's the end. And then after that was my exit interview with Deb. We went over my exit self-evaluation and some of the general feedback from preceptors. I handed in my intern manual, my office key, and I also made sure she had copies of my electronic quality improvement report as well as the PowerPoint presentation. And I even handed in my competency book. The only thing missing is the competencies to be signed off after my second week of staff relief, which Deb said she can take care of. If I do well next week, that is. Now I only have my ID card to hand in, which I still need to access buildings and such for the end of the week, and Friday, that's it. I'll have no tangible trace that I was an intern. This week I learned that brewer's yeast is actually a good source of protein. I didn't know that people were adding it to their popcorn and other foods. Apparently it's becoming quite popular. And it has 16 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons, but it also has around 18% of the potassium you should have in a day. So for renal patients, it's something that they should limit. But I think I'm going to try to buy some and put it on my popcorn because it's a good source of protein. I also learned that in Germany, if you need hemodialysis, it's quite a different experience. They have entire buildings that are just for hemodialysis with different floors, and you go in and it's like you have a mini hotel room set up and you have a nice view and people come in and feed you while you're getting it done. It's a lot more fancy schmancy, but it costs a lot of money for somebody that goes in there, especially internationally visiting, and they would have to pay $350 out of their own pocket each time they go. So if somebody is getting hemodialysis 3 times a week, that's thousands of dollars every week just to live. So some other things I've been up to, we have our friends Cindy Alvin and their cute little baby Zen coming over for lunch on Friday afternoon. And then Sunday we're going to the Bluff Trail again, except we're going with a couple groups of friends, and we're going to do the around 9-kilometer hike. So that's going to be nice. Hopefully it won't be too muggy. And Thursday, after internship is done, the interns are going to the party boat at 9:30, and before that we're probably going to hang out and drink some wine at someone's house. Initially, the girls started buying tickets to a party boat that was country themed on the same night, and then I had to message the group and be the one that was like, hey, can we do a party boat instead of a country boat? And luckily the girls could change over their tickets, so I'm so happy that worked out because gotta say I'm not the biggest fan of country music. And then Friday, our graduation ceremony is at 2:30, and I'm so excited. I can't believe it's next week. And then after that, we're definitely going to hang out and celebrate some more. One of my managers actually scheduled me to work on Friday, and I had to send her a text and be like, hey, I've been working hard for this for many years. I put it in the request book quite some time ago. Could I please have the night off? And she was so nice, and she felt really bad that she scheduled me in the first place. So I'm just happy that's taken care of, because that would have sucked. And because some of the girls are moving away, I'm going to head over to Julia's next week, and she's going to give me some of her stuff. She's actually using the money she made from working part-time, and she's going traveling to Europe, including Greece, at the end of August. So, grr, I can't wait to go. Next week is week 47. I can't even believe it. I'm going to have to make sure next week's episode is really good, so you don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. Just one more week to go. Remember, sustain your body, sustain your life.